Good morning.
Yeah, good morning. How are you?
Yeah, I'm doing fine. And you?
Firstly, I want to thank you for accepting my invitation and accepting to be on my show.
You're welcome. You're welcome. I'm also
So I
privileged to.
so I thought to introduce you to my audience.
Okay.
So can you please introduce yourself to my audience?
Okay. My name is Precious. I'm from Nigeria, and I'm a and I'm also a tech enthusiast. I love tech. I love programming and everything that has to do with it. Basically, that's me.
So web developer, are you working now?
Yes, I work on contract basis for now.
You work on? Your voice is not clear.
I said I work on contract basis. I work on contract. I get contracts and I execute them. But now I don't have any stable firm where I work. But I do contract. I execute contracts.
So web developer, what exactly your work is?
From the name web developer, we develop web applications. For instance, website applications that can run on Google on search engines. It's websites basically. That's web development. So we make
Your
use
your
of
voice
programming
is
languages.
your voice is not clear. I can't hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, yeah, go on.
You can hear me.
Yeah, now I
Okay,
can
like
hear
I
you.
said, yeah, like I said, I'm a web developer. So what I do basically is I build web applications that can run on search engines. When you go online and search for those applications, you see them. Basically, we call them websites, but it is web applications, but it is called website, generally known as website. So we make use of programming languages that build applications that work on the web. Do you get that?
So yeah, you develop web applications
Yes, exactly.
using which language?
Okay, for me, I use PHP basically for the server, and then for the front end, I make use of HTML, CSS, and also Bootstrap frameworks.
So to develop an web application, what is needed?
Okay, you need some basic tools actually. Tools. The tools I mean is what you would use to develop the application. Now, for instance, as a web developer, what you need first is, of course, you need a computer. You need a computer, a laptop, or anything, any computer device. Now you need that. You need Notepad, either Notepad plus plus or whatever kind of IDE any text editor that you can use to write your text, that you can use to write your code. That's what you need. And then with that text editor, you can build your code on them. And you need some basic, other plugins also to enable these languages to run on them. For instance, for the PHP, you need the XAMPP or the WAMP or the LAMP or the AMP, depending on the operating system you're making use of. So now you need this so you can connect your local computer to a server. And now your local computer will serve as your server. That is why I said you need a computer. So you see, these are the tools, basic tools that you need to develop a web application.
Okay, so you said you work on a contract basis.
Yes, yes.
So how the customer comes to you or any company suggests you to develop a application?
Exactly. It all depends on connections actually. You try to make connections and you try to make networks. So a company company, someone can recommend me to a company, or someone can recommend me to a client that would bring a job for me to work on. Understand? It's basically on a recommendation basis. I get recommendations from people, and then they recommend me to build a job. So the company comes to me, they are my client this time, and then I work for them and I get paid, and the deal is off.
So you said you're a web developer. So how much time you took to understand web development and develop a application, web
Well,
application?
it's a continuous process actually. The learning process is a continuous one. Even till now, I'm still developing myself on how to develop. But I should say the process has I've spent about 4 to 5 years in the process of developing myself to the stage where I am currently. Let's just say 4 years roughly.
So you went to university or
Yes, I went to university, and as well I still build myself by myself. I taught myself.
so for a beginner who know nothing about web application and who wants to come into web application and who wants to become a web developer, so what do you tell to that person?
Um, at first, I was trying to say it's a matter of being
So
sure of
can
what
you
you.
put your mic closer so that I can hear you?
Okay, sorry. It's first. It's a matter of being sure of what you want. You know, be clear about your objective. And when you are clear about your objectives, you'll be able to set your focus straight, and then you know, okay, this is what I want to get. This is how I'll get it, and this is how long it will take me to get it. So that also helps you to. It also helps prevent you falling off on the way. When you are clear about your objective, you know, okay, definitely, if I don't get it by this time, I know I still have time. You understand? I know I still need more things to do. That's number one. You know, be objective. That's why I'm trying to be objective about what you want to learn, and then you just have to invest your time. You just have to invest your time. It is not something that you can get. You can't just bypass it, or you can't just use a shortcut. You just have to invest your time, invest your energy, and a lot of things. You have to forego a lot of things to get your objective straight. I hope you got that.
So when you are telling about the needs to develop a web application, your voice was not clear. Can you tell it clearly what you use to develop a web application?
Sorry, come again, please. Can you come again?
Yeah. So my question is, you said that you are a web developer and
All right. All right, I'm listening.
yeah, you said you are a web developer and you use there are certain things that are needed to develop a web application. So when you are telling that
Yeah.
your voice was not clear, can you tell to my audience again what exactly
Oh,
are needed?
okay. Um, I said tools that you need. The tools you need. First, I said you need that computer will serve as your server, your local server. You need a computer that will serve as your local server, so that whatever you are doing, you can do. Or you can be test running it on your local server. You can be test running it on your computer, and then you'll be seeing how it will look like whenever it goes online. So you get what I mean? And then you need some basic tools for the computer. Now, some softwares. These are softwares that has already been built, to be for it has already been built to be building other applications. So you need these softwares for like the text editor. In the text editor, there are different kinds. We have Notepad++, we have Bracket, we have Visual Studio Code, Sublime Text, Atom, a lot of them. A lot of those text editors, you just go online and search for them, text editors for my computer. Now, also you need something that's going to represent your server. Now, there's an application for that would help you run PHP. And I'm talking from my own perspective because I'm a PHP developer. So you need something that can run your Apache, your MySQL, and whatever it is, So you need a XAMPP. We call it XAMPP, or you can have LAMP, WAMP, AMP, depending on your operating system. Now, for those using Windows operating system, you can use WAMP. Now, it has Apache, MySQL, and PHP So you can run your website on your local computer and see how it's going to look like when you take it online. So these are the basic tools you need. Now, for someone that wants to really develop, that wants to develop himself as a web developer, I believe the person from now will go further to make more research. Because I might not be able to cover everything here in this conversation, but the person will go further to make more research, and then will be able to get out all the necessary things that is needed, to build a web application. Or rather, I can send you a link where this person can contact me directly, and I will give the person the necessary information on this.
So one small request, can you don't shake your camera, because people who will watch you can't see you clearly.
Okay, I understand.
Yeah,
I understand.
so yeah, thank you, man. So my next question is what is PHP and how to learn it and how to start?
Okay. PHP, first full meaning of PHP is hypertext preprocessor. Now, PHP is a programming language that is used to build web applications, basically. It's a programming language used to build web applications. And now, if you want to learn PHP, you need to first have knowledge of programming. Of course, you need to have knowledge of programming before you can learn any programming language. And then there are tutorial videos, actually. I do suggest tutorial videos if you want to learn on your own, actually. I do suggest tutorial videos. But first, you need to know what to learn before you start looking for tutorial videos. And now, like I said, first, for you to be a good web developer, you need to know these basic languages. Now, PHP first for the back end, because web development is basically divided into two. We have the back end and also the front end. Now, for front end developers make use of HTML and CSS to build the front end. That is the looks, how the website is going to look like. You understand? Now, but for back end developers, is basically focused on the server side. What happens behind, that beautiful look that the website is giving, that the website is presenting. And what you need to learn to be able to be a back-end developer, that is to be able to build something that works behind, is PHP. And definitely for any programming language, I say for any website you are building, PHP is actually the bedrock of that website, because it gives the website its functions. All the buttons and every of the forms and everything that is on the website, that is on the front end, PHP gives it its functions. So you need to learn all these things. You need to learn how PHP functions, how PHP also relates with database, because we make use of database also. Now, the database is used to store your data. For database, you need to learn MySQL. Now, web development is kind of a broad field, because you need to study a lot of things, a lot of frameworks, a lot of languages to be able to gather yourself up to be a good web developer. You understand? So you need to study these things. Now you study PHP, then you study MySQL. Now PHP works with MySQL because with PHP you can use to connect MySQL, which PHP you can use to send query to MySQL. Now MySQL is a structured query language that receives query from your website and then do what? Outputs whatever you want it to output. So it relates with your database. PHP helps you to relate with your database. So these are the things you learn. You learn how to, build the look of a website. Then you now learn PHP, how to give it its functions. You understand? How to give it the functions that it needs, the function that the website needs. That is what PHP does. And then you also learn how PHP relates with the database, how PHP connects with the database, how PHP sends information to the database and retrieves information from the database, how it updates the database and every of that. So these are the basic things that you need to learn with PHP. I hope you got that.
Yeah, I got you. So what is the difference
Okay.
between developing? So what is the difference between developing an application in WordPress and developing application using PHP?
Okay. Now, when you develop an application with WordPress, you need to start looking for plugins to make the application standard enough. Understand? Now, take for instance, you want to develop an e-commerce website. You need to download a plugin for WooCommerce. You need to download a plugin that does this, a plugin that does this, and a whole lot of that. But now, and also it restricts your control over the web application. It restricts your control. It limits how you control your website. But now, if you develop an application with PHP, develop an application with programming language, let me put it that way, you have full control over the website. You can easily go to your code and tweak anything you want and just change anything you want by yourself. And no, you don't need to go through any plugin and go through any other and go through any other aspect before you can be able to change anything on your website. By yourself, you can just wake up one morning and then you decide, okay, this code I don't want it to look like this, and you just change it. So you have that full control over your website. But when you develop with WordPress, WordPress renders you what you can do for your website. WordPress is what is the platform that renders it for you. So you cannot change anything. If WordPress says it's A, it cannot be A plus 1. But if PHP, if you decide you want to change your A to B, you can just wake up one morning and do that. But in WordPress, you just have to follow the strict A that WordPress uses. I hope you get the analogy. So you have limited control over your website with WordPress, but with PHP you have full control. You can do anything you like with your website, and that's it.
So is there any other languages to develop a web application, and what is the difference between those languages and PHP?
Yeah, you can. There are other languages actually, but first let me tell you the difference. The difference is PHP is made solely for web development. Now, other languages that also develop websites are languages that on their own they are used to develop another platform, another type of application. But then some other features were added to enable them to be able to produce web applications. Now, for instance, take for instance JavaScript. Now, JavaScript is a framework actually. It's a language that is used to develop the client side for a website. Now, the client side, I mean, is also back end, but it is what the client sees. It's what the user sees. It doesn't really go to the back. It doesn't really go to the server and does anything in the server. It doesn't do anything at all in the server. So it just only does what the client sees and gives it some other beautiful features. But then, now JavaScript now has a framework that can now be used to communicate with the server. Obviously, what I mean. You see, JavaScript was not solely for web development in the first place. Was not solely for server development in the first place, but for client side. But now it has added some features that can be able to do it, that can be able to communicate with the server. Same thing with Python. Yeah, with Python. Python in fact is a multi-platform language. You can use it to develop for many platforms. But then it is not solely for web development, but rather for PHP. PHP is a language that is used to develop solely web applications. So if you learn PHP, you are learning how to develop a website, and you have the full knowledge because all the features covered in PHP, in the study of PHP, is for developing websites. Unlike other languages that can also develop websites, but then they were not solely built for developing websites, but rather they added some features to it that can make them develop web applications. Like Flutter, even Java. Java has some features in it, some plugins that you can use to develop websites. So that is the basic difference with them.
Okay, so WordPress is developed in Java or PHP?
You say?
WordPress application is developed using Java or PHP?
No, it's developed using PHP. Even in WordPress, you still need to use some PHP codes to write a WordPress website. You need to write some PHP codes and you need to write some HTML and CSS code. But WordPress was developed using PHP because it's a web application.
Yeah, I have websites. I have developed a website using the WordPress application. While
Okay.
there will be sometimes there will be problems while opening the website. It will show some errors. So
Okay.
I used to contact my host provider and I used to ask why this is coming. So they used to tell me that are you a web developer? Are you the developer? So I say no.
Okay.
I just installed it and I just started learning it. But that person used to say that this is completely from the work that should be done by the developer. So you please contact
Yes. Yes.
developer. So
Yes.
I didn't studied PHP, but when I went and opened the theme, it is completely in a different language. The theme is uh, uh, I went into the details and I saw it was completely in PHP language, which I don't know.
Yes.
Sometimes uh, to if I want something external to display on my the front side, so I used to
Yes.
use some codes and I used to put in between the codes like
Yes.
head
Yes.
in between the
Yes.
head, and it should that is what I only know. Sometimes if I want to in the header I want to display something, so I used to get that code and put that code in between and I used to see I used to save it and I used to refresh it used to display. But other things which are there which are wrote in the PHP language I don't understand anything. And they
Yeah.
say that the host provider says that and also a lot of people say that you don't need to have much coding language to develop a website, so that is okay. But you what so what are the advantages and disadvantages of developing websites in using PHP and using WordPress?
Yeah, like I said before, you have as a developer that develops with PHP has full control. He has full control over the website. He can do anything he likes with the website. Now, take for instance your analogy. You built it with WordPress, right? And then you do not have full control over it because you don't have knowledge of you know, of a programming language. You are not a web developer. That's sorry to say, but you don't have full control over it. Now you need to contact somebody to be able to tell before the person can tell you to do this and do that and do that and do that. But if you really want to do that, you now still need to contact a PHP developer that will help you settle those things. Now, but as a PHP developer, I have full control over it. And then any issue or any error that is thrown from my web application, I quickly know where the error is coming from, and I can quickly go there and change whatever I want to change. I can easily go there and edit whatever I want to edit. Anything I like, I can do with my website because I wrote it with my language, with my own programming language. I developed it, I hosted it with my language, and then any update and anything, I can just easily change anything. So that is it's just the flexibility. It's actually the flexibility. You have control, full control over it. There is no other thing attached to it. Unlike WordPress, when you develop with WordPress, you still need PHP knowledge. You still need knowledge of web development to be able to do or to be able to edit some certain things. But if you do it with PHP, full PHP, then definitely you don't need any other person to start telling you that your code has error from somewhere. If it has error, you definitely know where it's coming from because it was written by you. Hope you get what I'm saying.
Yeah, I got you. So
All right.
what is the difference between PHP and HTML? Both are languages, right?
Yeah, both are languages. HTML is hypertext markup language. PHP is hypertext preprocessor. Now, HTML is used to render text. It's just used to render text, just used to show text in your website. But PHP makes those texts work. You understand what I mean? Now, for instance, in an HTML form, you set a form for name to accept a name as input. You set a form to accept an email as input. Now, the HTML renders that form for you. It shows the form. It displays the form. But what makes the form work is PHP. So that's the basic difference. PHP works on the server side. HTML works on the front end. PHP is back end. HTML is front end. That's the basic difference.
And what is the difference between PHP and Java and .NET?
.NET. Okay, Java and they are different languages. Actually, they're different languages. Now, Java is an application is a language also is a dimensional language, multi-platform language that you can use to develop desktop applications, you can use to develop mobile applications, and also you can use to develop web applications. Like I told you before, Java is a language that was built for multi-platforms, but PHP is a language that was built strictly for web platform. And the same thing with .NET. ASP.NET. So they are different platforms and they are different languages. They are different languages with different syntax and with different codes. So whereas PHP is used to develop web applications, Java is used to develop applications for many platforms, mobile applications, web applications when you make use of some features that has been included in Java, and also for desktop applications. So that's the difference.
So, do PHP used in developing operating system?
System, I don't think so. I don't think so. Although I don't really know much about how to develop an operating system, but I don't believe PHP is used to. Although I don't think so.
Okay, you develop only web applications or Android applications or iOS applications too?
I develop web applications for now. But I'm in the process of learning how to develop mobile applications. That is for both Android and iOS devices. So, but for now, if I want to do a job, I'll prefer doing a job to develop a web application. But I believe, hopefully, in the future, in the nearest future, in about a few months, I'll be able to develop mobile applications. That's for Android and iOS because I'm learning it currently.
Okay, how much time it takes to develop a web application?
Hmm. That's a nice question. It depends. It varies. It varies. Depending on the functionalities of the application, and also depending on the skill of the programmer. There are two things that can determine how long it takes. Now, for a freshman in programming, a beginner, if you want to develop, let's say, an e-commerce website, it can take a matter of, in fact, if it's doing it alone, it can take about 4 to 6 months, depending on how much knowledge he has in doing that. But for someone that has been for a while, I can do an e-commerce website alone in a matter of 2 months. And if the pressure is much, I can do it in a month. So it varies. It varies depending on the functionalities of the application and also depending on the skill of the programmer.
You said you are a freelancer. So
Yes. Yes.
do you give support even after the contract?
Do I give support? Okay, like management support.
Yeah.
Yes, but it's also it comes with a fee. It comes with a fee and it comes with an agreement. It's outside the first contract. The first contract is going to be on developing it. Then subsequently, if you want me to give my managerial support and maintenance support and all those things, it comes with a fee.
So can you tell how much price you take? How much the contract will be for web application? How much you take?
Hmm. It also depends. It also depends on the functionalities, and it also still depends uh, on the value of the programmer. Now, for someone like me, if you give me a website to develop, because I'm in Nigeria, so we make use of naira. So I'm saying it in the naira equivalent. I don't know how the equivalent is where you are actually. I'm saying it like the naira equivalent of the money. Now, for me, I charge sometimes depending on the functions. Actually, I charge per page, and sometimes I charge per the time I'm going to make use of. Now, if I'm charging per page, depending on the functions of the page, it can vary between 5 to 5,000 naira to 20,000 naira in naira actually. If I don't know the equivalents over there, that's why I can't really say. I can't really say on that. So, but if I'm charging part time, there is also it's also different. It's different. Now, depending on the client, also I can charge the same thing between 5,000 naira to 20,000 naira per page and per time. So it's a different. There are different ways to charge actually. There are different ways to charge your customer. One, you look at the client, and also you look at what he wants you to do and how long it will take you to do it, and also you merge it with your own value. Because there are some certain jobs you can't bring to me because I feel like I'm more than that. I value more than that job. You understand? So basically, it's not a fixed price. There is no fixed price in charging for web development.
Okay, so how many applications have you developed in your life?
Uh, there are much. Oh. There are much. I can't really count. I can't count. I can't count. There are
Approximately.
much. Let's say approximately the ones I know that have gone online, approximately about 15, between 15 to 20, between 15 to 20 of them. The ones I know I'm still working on should be like two or three. And yeah, that's it. That's it.
Awesome. So you are you are specialized in you're a your specialty is PHP.
Yes, yes.
You're good
PHP.
in PHP.
Yeah, to a very good extent.
Okay. So if anybody wants to develop applications on PHP, you are ready to do it.
Of course, I'm ready.
Awesome. So you do it
Yeah.
remotely or
I do it depending on the distance actually, but I can do it remotely. I do remotely also.
what about support?
You say
What about support? You know, the client will not have the tech knowledge, right? How you give support to them?
support as in
How to manage the website, how to
okay,
manage the
yeah.
tools.
If the client is not doesn't have the capacity to manage it, then he can also contract me and also I'll manage it for him.
Okay. So awesome, man. Precious, Zani. Thank you for your valuable time.
Uh,
So
yeah, thank you.
you want me to put? Do you have any blogs or websites? Personal blogs or websites?
Yeah, I think I have a portfolio. I have a portfolio.
Okay.
I can yeah.
I'll
I
put
can
your
send it to you
portfolio.
after now.
Yeah, I'll
Okay.
put your portfolio link in the description of this video. People who finds our
Okay.
video on YouTube, you know, will find you,
Okay.
and if they need any web development, they will contact you.
Yeah, yeah. I can also send you my LinkedIn account. Okay. Also, my LinkedIn username. You can contact me via LinkedIn.
Yeah,
LinkedIn.
definitely. I will put it. People who needs it,
Okay.
people who believes that you can develop the best application, and if they see your the previous work and if they satisfy, definitely they may consider you as their developer, and they may give you their applications. It's up to them. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Sure. Sure.
This
I'll
is
be looking forward to that.
this is really great, man. Thank you for giving me your valuable
Thank you.
time and.
I really appreciate you too for the platform. It's a nice one. I enjoyed it.
Hmm. So, at last, do you have anything to say that helps to you and that helps to the world who watches this video and who listens to you on my podcast?
Okay. To the people watching, I first I would really appreciate you also for the time. But to the people watching, I want to say to them that I'm happy that I was here. I'm happy that I was able to make contributions to the web development world. I'm also happy that I was able to say some things that I know. As a matter of fact, some things I didn't even think I know how to say these things. I didn't really think I know how to air my views on this. Well, and the questions were direct, and questions were really sensible ones and really critical ones for someone that wants to be a developer. And I hope that somebody out there watching this has an inner voice is telling to be a web developer will definitely get insights from this video. Thank you very much for your time. Thank you for your platform. I really appreciate this podcast. Thank you.
So, what do you say about my work? What do you say about my technical knowledge and what about our conversation? What you understood about me? And have you seen any videos of mine on YouTube previous?
I've really not seen. Well, when I got the message from you that you would like to have a conversation with me, I just scrolled a little on your Twitter page and I saw some videos of some people that you interviewed, of some people you asked some questions, and I was also interested because I felt like you have a vast knowledge about things, and from the questions you were asking, it seemed like they sound like you already have a little knowledge about the tech world. Just like you said, you have a WordPress, you developed a WordPress site before. So I'm not surprised that you have such a knowledge, because people that handle podcasts and all these kind of YouTube channels and all these things, they have the way they get knowledge. I don't know how you get knowledge from, but it's impressive. It's very, very impressive. I really commend you for this.
I didn't say you. I did masters in software engineering and graduation in computer science and engineering.
Okay, you
Yeah,
did it.
yeah, I did masters in software engineering.
Wow. Wow. That's good. That's very good. Which language do you major in? Which programming language do you?
I'm an engineer. I'm into infrastructure, not into development.
Oh, okay. It's well. It's fine. It's fine.
Yeah,
I was
I'm
thinking you also
learning.
have.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm learning
Okay.
presently AWS cloud computing. I got a
Oh,
certification in this, and I'm going to work in Canada as a IT director.
wow. Wow. That's good. That's very good.
Yeah,
You do well to also be pocketing us too once in a while.
yeah. I do this YouTube and podcast just to gain knowledge from great people like you.
That's good. That's good. Thank you very much. Thank you for the
So,
opportunity.
so can I put this video and audio clips on my YouTube channel, social media, internet, podcast everywhere with your permission?
Of course. Of course. I would really like that.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you, man. When you have time, watch my videos, or listen to my podcast. If you have time.
Oh, no problem. No problem. Thank you very much.
Thank you,
Thank you
precious.
very much.
You're really precious.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank. I appreciate. I appreciate,
Thank,
man.
thank you, man. Bye.
Yeah. All right. Bye.